Hello. Hello. Hi. Hi. Hi, Capybara. Hi. Oh no, don't call yourself Skibidi Toilet. Why would you do that? We'll start in another 20 something seconds. Hi. Hello. All right, time is up. Okay, how is your second week of school, everybody? Are y'all happy to go back to school? Hello. No Kahoot. You want Kahoot? If it's let me take a look. Okay, for Kahoot, right? I think for this week is on Friday. Math, P6 math. Okay. Yeah, today no Kahoot. You can go to the A. If you're concerned about the Kahoot, you can actually go to the AGrader website or our Instagram, and then you can see that the one with the Kahoot got the a cute little like present logo on the particular session that has Kahoot. Hi, okay. Oh, octopus. It's okay. You can try it again next week. Okay, everybody. All right. So now I'm gonna start. Okay, just a gentle reminder. We have online classes. Okay, for primary 5 and primary 6 for all the subjects except Chinese. Okay, and for secondary 1 and 2 math, we have online classes. Okay, I'll be conducting the P6 science one. All right. So yes, capybara lover. All right. So now I'm gonna start with today. We are doing primary 6 term 3 practice. Okay. So I'm not sure, has your school started on like the topic on man's impact on the environment? Who already finished adaptations? Who already finished man's impact on the environment? No? Daniel, no? That means yours is at what topic? Hmm? Okay. Oh, still at food chain? Ah, okay. Some schools already like adaptations or men's impact already. Okay, everybody, no Kahoot today. Okay, everybody, let's start, okay? All right, so let's go to question one. I'm going to show you the first part of question one first. If not, the top part will get blocked by the banners. Okay, so let's look at question one. And question one here says that, all right, the diagram below shows how blood flow in the human body. Okay, everyone, okay? Wow, octopus is so fast. Okay, so now when it comes to blood flow, right, make it a good habit. Okay, always make it a good habit to like identify, to like see, okay, which vessels are sending blood to which direction. Okay, can? So I always make it a good habit to label my vessels to prevent careless mistakes. All right, so what do I mean by label the vessels? Okay, so for all these vessels like W, X, Y, and Z, all right, we must label them, okay, accordingly, all right. And please do not use heart as part of your label. Why? Is because you see, if I label W as to the heart, then Y will also be the same labeling to the heart. So I wouldn't want to label it that way. So for me, okay, I will label W as, okay, from sending blood from the lungs. Okay, X is to other parts of the body. Y is from other parts of the body. And Z is to the lungs. All right. So for this, right, okay, this question, what exactly is this question asking us? Okay. So yes, I am. Who are you? Yes, I'm teacher Jody. How you know? Who are you? Okay, so let's look at this one. All right, so let's look at this one over here. So over here, they are asking, okay, the same amount of blood was taken and the amount of oxygen was compared. All right, which one of the following graphs is correct? Okay, so now since the question is focusing on oxygen, the amount of oxygen, the oxygen level, okay, what am I trying to find out? Okay, so for this, okay, I'm gonna write down the key things, okay? So let's talk about oxygen level. All right, can anyone tell me, okay, which blood vessel do you think should have the most amount of oxygen? Which one? Which one do you all think? Which one do you think has the most amount of oxygen? Any idea? Okay, thank you, Daniel. Most amount, okay, the most. All right. Okay, okay, you'll put W. Okay, W. All right. The rest of you? Most amount of oxygen? Not sure? Okay, so over here, all right, yes, W is the one that has, very good, thank you, Shine. All right, W is the one that has the most amount of oxygen. Why? Because the lungs helps to replenish the oxygen for us, helps to take in oxygen, okay, and remove carbon dioxide from our blood. Okay, so the one that just comes out from the lungs and go into the heart will have the highest amount of oxygen. Okay, so this one, let me just write down most amount of oxygen. Okay, so which one? Okay, so now we know that W is the most, right? Followed by what? Which one is the second highest? Hello, Shine. There are very similar questions. For respiratory system, right? This is a very common question. So you could have like, yeah. So you could have seen a similar question before, or even something that's almost exactly the same. All right. So yes, followed by X, right? Why? It's because X, everybody, the heart is an organ. The heart also goes through respiration, so it will use up some oxygen. So when you use up some oxygen, it still have quite a lot of oxygen left. Okay, so we'll write this as more. Not the most, but there's still more oxygen at X. Then followed by what? What's the next one, everybody? Thank you. Thank you for all your answers. Hi. Hi, Shine. Hi, CW. Okay, what's the next one, everybody? Which one is the next in terms of level of oxygen? We have W as the first, most, followed by X. After that, or it's okay, Octopus. I'm very sure you can do it. Just practice more. Okay, expose yourself to more of this kind of question. Very good. Thank you, Wilson and Octopus. The next higher one, okay, which is actually considered low already, is actually Y. So Y has less oxygen already. Why is it less oxygen? Because the other parts of your body go through respiration. It uses up a lot of oxygen, all right, and digested food to obtain energy. Okay, then after that, when it passes through the heart is going to use up a little bit of oxygen again, and followed by Z will have the least amount of oxygen because the heart used up some of it. All right. So based on this understanding, let's look at the options. So which one do you think is the correct option? I show you the graph now. Why got more carbon dioxide than oxygen? Yes, correct. You're not wrong. But this one, I put less and least only because we're focusing on oxygen. Some of you say 4. Some of you say, where's your present? What do you mean? What present? Clary 34E. What do you mean? 4? Most of you say 4. Okay, yes, the answer is 4. Okay, why is it 4? Very good. Most of you got it correct. Okay, is that W is wrong for option 1 already. W should not have so little oxygen. Okay, then for option 2, all right, take note, option 2, X shouldn't have lesser oxygen than Y. Okay, so option 2 is already also wrong. Okay, and number 3, W shouldn't have been so little. So your answer is supposed to be number 4. Okay, W have way more oxygen than Z. All right, it's okay. Suguna, it's okay. Yes, W should have the most. Very good. Yes, yes. Ah, yes. Taro milk tea. I remember you from the live, but I don't know your real name. Okay, everyone done? Okay, any questions for this? Any questions? Clear? Adaptations? Adaptations for this worksheet, you're talking about adaptations, right? Adaptations, we for this worksheet, we mainly have food chain, food web, and reproduction in plants. Yeah, let's don't have adaptation for this one. The following, the next session for P6 science, if I'm not wrong, would have adaptations. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. No, no Kahoot today. Okay. Okay, so let's look at this one. Next, I show you the top part of question 2 first. Okay, question 2, it says that Kim removed, okay, the water carrying and the food carrying tubes at some parts of a plant. Made the following observation of the plant at the start and at the end of the experiment. So she noted that the plant was growing healthily at the start of the experiment. So her observations at the end were as follows. So at which point was both the food and water carrying tubes removed? So you need to understand, okay, that when you remove the food and water carrying tubes, can the plant survive at all? Are you Hannah? Taro milk tea, are you Hannah? Or are you A? A lot of you, some of you send in the answer A. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So everybody, okay, so you need to understand that when both, I highlighted this part, okay, the food and water carrying tubes, if they are removed, all right, it can cause the plant to die depending on where the cut is. Okay, so let's look at the first step that happens. Okay, so they say that leaf S is the one that withered and dropped off first, right? Okay, and after that, okay, it says that bud tea, flower bud tea, that means these two, okay, actually died. Okay, withered and dropped off. So we know that the cut greatly affected the top section of the plant. All right, okay, so they died. All right, and why do the plant die? Okay, the plant, okay, the leaf, right? The only possible reason why the leaf died is because there isn't any water. Okay, why? Is because if there is water, the leaf would have made food for itself. Okay, it is able to survive. All right, so for this tells me that, okay, for leaf S, there is no water transported to leaf S. Okay, similarly to flower bud tea. Okay, very good. And then you all can see from observation 3 and 4. All right, we see that the leaf grew bigger in size. Okay, leaf U grew bigger. Leaf and fruit V grew bigger. So what does this indicate? Does anyone know? Why do they grow bigger? Let's see whether you all remember or not. So easy. Wow, because you already graduated, right? Does anyone know? What does it grow? Why does it grow bigger? Grow bigger means what? I know that all of you, those of you standing, yes, you're not wrong. Yes, the answer is one. But you all know why leaf U and fruit V grew bigger? Does anyone of you know? Yes, it means that more food is being stored there. All right. So good. So this tells me that when it grow bigger, it indicates that there's actually more food stored at the various parts of the plant. Okay. So for this also indicates that food, all right, can travel all the way to food can travel all the way to food V, which means that here is not affected at all. Over here, there is water and food being transported. Okay, because in order to make food, you need to have water. So this tells me that water is also transported as well. So the only way, or the only location where they should have the cut that is going to affect leaf S and flower bud T is the cut at A, okay, whereby the water gets stuck here, the food, they cannot make their own food. Okay, okay? All right, so for this, your answer is supposed to be A. The answer is supposed to be number 1. All right, good. Very good. All of you are sending number 1. You got it correct. Yes, and thank you, Octopus, for your answer. Okay, everyone, do you have any questions for this? Any questions, please let me know. Cheyenne, thank you. Yes, the answer is number 1. Any questions? No questions, I'm going to move on. What was for question 1? Question 1 is over here. Answer is number 4. Okay, I'm going to move on. Hi. Why you say sup? Okay, let's move on, all right? Okay, let's look at food webs. All right, so someone just now mentioned that you are still at food web for your school. Okay, so let's look at food web. All right, and the question is very straightforward. They jump straight to the question. Which of the following statements are true? Okay, so always when you do food web questions, identify your food producer. Which organism do you all think is a food producer? Can you all tell me? Hi, Belinda. Which one do y'all know? Which one do y'all think that is a food producer? Food producer, always make sure that you know that the arrows are pointing out, going outwards. Okay, very good. Okay, so yes, a lot of you said M. Yes, M is our producer. Fantastic, good. Okay, so now let's look at the first statement. A says that M is a producer, and this is definitely true. I'm going to choose this option. Okay, so now let's look at B. B says that O is a plant and animal eater. Okay, but let's go and find out what kind of organisms they eat first, okay? So does anyone know for P, look at the directional arrow. P, can you tell me, does P eats plant, eats animal, or eats both? Can you tell me, does P eats plant, animal, or both? Very good. Thank you, Iris and Peifong. Yes. All right. We know that P eats plant. It's a plant eater. Okay, what about O? What about O over here? Very good. Thank you, Octopus. What about O? Plant and animal eats both, right? It eats M, which is a producer, which is a plant, and it eats N, which is an animal. All right, so O eats both. Okay, we call it an omnivore. All right, and for N, you can see N is actually a plant eater. Okay, so for this, they say for B, B would be correct where they say that O is a plant and an animal eater. Okay, yes. Thank you for all your answers, everybody. All right, now what about C? C says that R, let's check, okay? R preys on O and N. Is this correct or wrong? False, very good, because R does not eat N. There is no arrow from N to R. Okay, but it eats P. Okay, R doesn't eat N, it eats P. Okay, so for this is false, not N, it is P. All right, and what about D? Thank you for all your answers. Yes, the correct answer is 3. Okay, so for D, what happened is that, yes, correct, Cheyenne. Good. So when P decreases, okay, so let's look at this one. When P decreases, S will also decrease. Okay, and y'all say, those of you sending your answer 3, that means you all agree with the statement, right? So why do y'all agree? Because why? When P decrease, right? Why would S decrease? Because P is the what? P is the what for S? Do y'all know what is the correct word to use? Less food for S. Yes, P is the food, P is the prey of S. So this means that in case section B, they ask you to explain, okay? So P is the prey of S. So when there's a decrease in P, there'll be less food, okay? So organism S will not survive as that well as well, so it will decrease as well. Okay, so this is true because there would be less food for S. All right, so good. So very good. Your answer is supposed to be number 3. Good. Yes, P is a consumer. Okay, very good. Yes, P. Yes, it's a prey. Very good. Okay, everyone. All right. Any questions for this? Any questions? Oh, Wilson, thank you for sharing the live. But don't spam, okay? No. Okay, very good. Okay, let's move on to 4. All right, so for 4, it says here that Mary counted the number of organisms. Okay, let's highlight the key things here. Number of all organisms in a school pond and recorded the data in the following table. So which of the following statements is or are true? Okay, so everybody, I want the statement that is true, okay? True. So based on this, right, if I want the statement that is true, let's check. Okay, let's check. Option A says that there are 3 population of animals. What do you think? Is this statement true or false? Are there only 3 populations of animals? Do you remember what this population means? You must take note, okay? Population means that there must be, okay, a group of animal, more than one organism of the same kind living together in the same habitat is considered a population. What do I mean by same kind? You must remember, same kind means they belong into the same life cycle. Same life cycle, one population. Yes, very good, CW. Okay, okay, take note, very good. A lot of you say this false, right? So yes, this is wrong. There isn't 3 population of animals. This is false. F for false, okay? So in fact, all right, there are how many? There are 2 populations of animals. Very good. Only 2. Okay, so for this, what happens here is, okay, if you look carefully, all right, frogs and tadpoles are considered the same population. So it's considered for the focus about the animals, okay? So for animals, this is considered one population. Water snails are considered the second population. All right, so there are only 2 populations of animals. So this is false. Okay, very good. All of you got the concept there. All right, what about B? Is B true or false? Oh, any idea? Do they form the pond community? Is it only the plants forming the pond community? Only the plants? Is it the hydrilla, duckweed, and elodia forming the pond community? Is it only the plants? Think carefully. What do you think? Is it only the plants? Thank you for your answer, JW, Shine, CW, octopus as well. Okay, so no, it's not only the plants, right? The animals also belongs to or form the pond community. So over here, this is false. Okay, the animals as well. Okay? Yes. Yes, you're supposed to include the animals. Yes. Then what about C? Is C true? The population size of Idolia is less than that of the hydrilla. Very good. You see, there's less number of organisms than hydrilla. So this is true. So your answer is supposed to be number 2. Yes, those of you who sent in your answer to be 2, you got it correct. Very good. Thank you for all your answers. Why are you talking about Ohio? All right, so everybody, I'm going to move on. Does anyone have any questions for this? Any questions? No? Okay, I'm going to move on, all right? So let's move on to the next one. All right, next one, it says here that a toy bear was left untouched inside a box. Which of the following graph shows how the mass of the toy bear would change over time? Okay, is the toy bear a living thing? This one you should answer straight away, okay? Is toy bear a living thing? No, right? It is a non-living thing. So if it's a non-living thing, should the mass change? Who says yes? No, if it's a non-living thing, the mass shouldn't change. So it is supposed to remain the same. All right. So what's your answer? I see some of you sending in the answers already. What is the answer for question 5? Which one shows me that it stays the same? Very good. Thank you for sending in all your answers. All right, Shine, Octopus, Wilson, Kenny, people. So many of you. Charlene also. Okay, Iris, thank you. Master Nugget, what are you trying to do? Okay, so yes, option 2 shows me that it's the same. The answer is supposed to be number 2. Okay? Mr. Nugget says that the toy bear is a living thing. Maybe watch too many Toy Story. Do you all watch the Toy Story movie before? This is not Toy Story, okay? Toy Story is not real. Okay, is everyone all right? I'm gonna move on to the next one. Any questions for this? Yes, Sukuna. Okay, let's look at question 6, all right? So for question 6, they're asking us to study the food chain below carefully, and the food chain is found in a habitat called habitat T. So they said that a disease caused the grass to start dying, and after a while, the population of the birds in habitat B actually starts decreasing as well. Explain why. This is an explanation question for food, web and food chain style question. Just now we did the MCQ, right? So that's why I asked you all certain questions, because there would be open-ended about such things. Okay, so let's look at this open-ended. Okay, so for this, everybody, now, okay, so what happens is when a disease causes the grass to start dying, right? That means the population of grass will start to decrease. Okay, so when the population of grass decrease, it's going to affect the bird. Why? Can you tell me what will happen to the grasshopper first? When grass decrease, what will happen to the grasshopper? Do y'all know? Don't say no. They say less. It must say less for this one. For this one, say less, okay? They start dying, never say like it's totally wiped out yet. So certain school teachers very strict. If they never say like totally wiped out, then you just put less, okay? So for this, yes, there'll be less food. Very good. Okay, less food for who? For the grasshopper. Very good. Thank you for all your answers. Thank you, YS. Thank you, Shine, as well. And Supernova. All right, so yes. So what happened is there is less food. Grasshopper decrease. Then when grasshopper decrease, what will happen? How does it affect the bird? There is also less food for the birds. Very good. So the birds will start decreasing as well. Okay, so everybody do not straight away jump from the grass to the bird. In your explanation question, you must talk about step by step how the grass affects the grasshopper, how the grasshopper affects the birds. All right. So for this, every time you get this type of question, you must firstly, explanation question for AGrader, we teach either 2 or 3 steps answering technique. Okay, since this is not an experiment, we use the 2 steps answering technique. Okay, so D for describe. Describe the food relationship between the organisms in the food chain there. Okay, that means this, what do I mean by describe? Say, is it the prey? Is it less prey? Is it less predator? More or less prey or predator? Or more or less food? More or less like consumer, all right, for example. All right, so these are the words you use to explain food relationship. Okay, then the second step, talk about how does it affect the population. Okay, so 1 mark comes from linking grass to grasshopper. Second mark comes from linking grasshopper to the bird. All right, so I'm going to write that down. Okay, yes, describe and science concept. This one don't need to link at the moment. because this one is not an experimental question. Very good, CW. Okay, this, how is this P3? This is like food web. P6. Okay, so for this, all right, we must say with less grass to feed on, there is less food for the grasshopper. Okay, then I write about the population causing its population to decrease. All right, these will give you 1 mark. And then followed by talking about the next food relationship. Okay, so there will be less food for the birds and they died due to lack of food, causing the population to decrease. Who is Jendel? What are you talking about, Felix? I have no idea. Okay, everybody, come, let's focus on this, all right? So I'm gonna highlight the key thing, okay? So must mention less grass, so less food for grasshopper, population decrease. So it will be leads to less food for the birds, all right? So they died due to lack of food, so population decrease as well. Okay, all right, so this would be another 1 mark over here. Does anyone has any questions for this? All right, everybody, okay? Any questions for this? No? No, I'm gonna move on, all right? So everybody, let's move on to the next one. Okay? No, thank you, CW. Okay, so for this one, okay, they said that another food chain is found in habitat T as shown below, which has something to do with the grass, the rabbit, and the fox. Okay, so in the box below, construct a food web using the 2 food chains found in habitat T above. So now, this one very hard to ask you any questions. So for this, you just have to make sure that in a food web, you can only have one of the same name. Do not write the same name twice. Do not write the same organism twice. All right. So I would always like to write one food chain first. Okay. So let me write the food chain here into the box. Okay. So I like to write one food chain first. So the food chain is actually my grass. Okay. Arrow to my grasshopper. Arrow, you can just copy the top food chain, okay? Arrow to the bird. All right, and then arrow to the fox. Okay, I'm copying down my first food chain. Then my second food chain, okay, since grass is repeated, I do not write this word again. I just have to arrow out from the grass, okay, and it will be my rabbit. And then the rabbit gets eaten by the fox. So this is how your mini food web should be like. Okay, anyone got any questions for B? Because this one I have to draw by myself. Do you got any questions for B? Okay. All right, I'm going to move on, okay? No questions for B, then I'll be moving on. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Hello, y'all talk about science here first, okay? Try not to chit-chat with each other. Try to focus on science. All right, so everyone, let's look at this one over here. Question 7. All right, this one, I think some of you are experts at this topic. Okay, so let's look at this one. Okay, Ming Ming drew diagrams 1 and 2 below, showing the reproductive parts of plant M and a human respectively. Okay, so you can send in your answers for me. Can you send in the answers to me through the chat? Which two parts represents the ovaries in diagrams 1 and 2? Thank you for all your answers. Most of you got it correct. Yes, for ovaries, it is actually part B and C. Okay, part B is called the ovary. Do take note for plant reproduction. Please take note of where the line of your labeling reaches. Okay, if it reaches the outer layer, it's the ovary. But if it points to the inner circle, it's called the what? Do you all know if it points to the inner circle? The inner circle, the circle that is right inside. Does anyone know what is it? Thank you, editor. Yes, it is the ovule. So take note of where the line stops, okay? Does anyone know what is A? What is A called? Does anyone know what is A? What is part D? Part D is called the womb, or you can actually call it in secondary school, they don't use the word womb, they use the word uterus. Okay? A is the enter, very good. Okay, what about, and then C would be the ovary as mentioned in question part A. Okay, so very good. Thank you for all your answers, everybody. Charlene, Felix, thank you. Cheyenne, thank you. All right, so I'm going to move on. And this one very straightforward, okay? No questions, right? I hope. Do you have any questions for this? Yes, A is the enter which produces pollen grain. Very good, Cheyenne. Thank you, Wilson. No questions, right? All right, so let's move on to B. Okay, so for B, right, it says here that in the population of plant M, each plant has only either blue flowers or white flowers. And then they say that a farmer collected seeds from plant M that has blue flowers to grow new plants. So explain why the new plants will have only blue flowers. Any idea? Where the fetus develops? The fetus develops here. You mean for humans? Here, in the womb. Yes, that's the place where the fetus develops. Okay, if not, you can say that that's the place where the unborn or the fertilized egg develops. Okay? We don't, if you never use fetus, it's fine as well. It's fine in PSLE. So for this, as long as you mention the fertilized eggs develops here, you will get the answer correct. We don't use the word ancestors here. Felix, because it will be tested in PSLE. Oh, wait, I mean, like, why you ask that question? Okay, so we don't say ancestors trait. If you haven't died yet, we don't say ancestors. Okay. Okay. So for this, all right, explain why. Let's explain it in a more PSLE scientific way. All right. So we use the word what? Does anyone know what's the keyword? The passing down of characteristics from their parents to their young. What do we call it? Do you have any idea? Any idea? Passing down of characteristics from the parents to the young. Anyone know? No? Don't know? Not sure? Okay. The passing down of characteristics from parent to young is called heredity. Okay, so we have to try to use the similar word. So you have to say that the new plant, yes, inherit, very good. Okay, the new plant inherited their characteristics. Okay, so from their parent plant. Okay, so for this, we need to describe about heredity. Okay, second step, we talk about science concept, which is passing down of genetic information, genes, okay, from the parent to the young. All right, so let me write this one down. So very good. So we need to say that not heritage. Hey, no one is dying here. Haven't died yet. Don't write heritage. Okay, so you have to say that the new plant inherited. Oops. The new plant inherited their characteristics from the genes of their parent plant, of their parents, okay? Or you can say the parent plants, all right? And, or you can say which only grew blue flowers. Very good. Are you Zahar, is it? Yeah, you got it correct. But we try to, yeah, can. I will accept that also. Bye. Okay. Oh, Shine, you're not wrong, but you must tell me like why would it be blue? So you must say like it's being passed down. The characteristics is being passed down. Okay? Okay? Alright, so I'm gonna highlight the key things. So you must say inherited their characteristics, or if you say the characteristics is being passed down, it is also accepted. Alright? And from the parent plant. Okay, Ken? Alright, any questions for this? Any questions? No? Yes. Okay. Alright. Anyway, how is your second week of school? You never tell me. How is it? Is it good? Is your prelims coming out already? Very good. That's good, Shine. Are your prelims coming up? Yeah, coming out. Good, excellent. Oh, so good. Oh no, not yet, Shine. Okay. Not good. Ayo, Milo kosong peng. Why you say so? Why do you say so? At the end of this month? Oh, all the best for your prelims, okay? Next year prelim, JW, that means you're in primary 5? Yeah? Yes? Sukuna? Yes? I only have prelims? What do you mean? YS? Yeah. Prelims should be next for those of you who are in P6. Okay, let's move on, alright? So let's look at question C. Oh, can you think about the answer for question C? It's a very straightforward answer. What is seed dispersal? All right, you don't have to look at P and Q first. All right, just tell me what exactly is seed dispersal. State what is it? What does it mean by seed dispersal? Yeah, P6 we call it straight away is prelims already. Does anyone know? What is seed dispersal? Why are you so happy that I call you my local Song Peng? Who are you actually? What is seed dispersal? They never ask you. They never ask you what is the method of dispersal for P and Q. They're just asking a general like science concept type of question. What exactly is seed dispersal? Moving of seeds. Okay. All right. We say okay. Can is when the seeds of the plant of the parent plant are being scattered away. Very good. All right. Yes. No. Those of you who send splitting your weight. Okay. Question C is not asking for you to identify what method of seed dispersal. They're actually asking you what is seed dispersal. Okay, so what happens here is oh, your answer is actually like what is the advantage? Why is seed dispersal required? Okay, Ken. So for C is actually very straightforward. What is seed dispersal? You just have to say is when. But if you want to add that down at the back, okay, if you want to add that down at the back, it's fine. All right, but this part must be mentioned first. All right, if you have to say that is when the seeds are of the plant are scattered further away from the parent plant. Okay, if you want to add in at the back, all right, to avoid competition, to avoid overcrowding and competition for the four things, it's fine also. All right, but this sentence is the one that gives you that 1 mark. Okay, okay? All right, so for this, the correct answer is the seeds are scattered further away. If you put moved further away, depending on how strict your teacher is, all right, but it's still accepted, okay, further away from the parent plant. Okay? Can Shine, you're not wrong also. Okay, very good. All right, so good. Okay. All right, so I'm got any questions for this one? No? All right, so everybody, let's look at D. Can y'all tell me, look at the characteristics, look at the diagram, look at the characteristics of the fruits, and can you tell me how do you think fruit P and Q are dispersed? Thank you for your answer. Thank you, YS. The rest of you, I'll wait for a while more for some of you to tell me your answer if you want to share. Thank you, Wilson. Thank you, Octopus. Thank you, Shine. Okay, very good. All right, so those of you sending your answers to me, you got it correct. Okay, so P is actually dispersed by wind and Q is actually dispersed by splitting. If you write explosive action, it is fine as well. Okay, but can you all, thank you, CW. Okay, but those of you, can you all tell me why do you say it's wind? Just in case they ask you why. So can you all tell me, based on the picture, P has what kind of like structure for you to determine that it's by wind? Explosive action is okay. Anyone? Wing light? This one not exactly wing light. Wing light means you must have like, it looks like a wing. And then the seed is like that. The one is wing light. This one, we don't really call it wing light. Anyone? Do you have anyone else any other answer? Who is MKE? Hello. All right. Is light feathery? Okay, feathery or fine hairs. Very good. So take note. Q for P. All right. We say that it is feathery or it has fine hairs. Okay, this is not hook. Okay, please take note that a lot of students have to confuse feathery like structure with hook. Hook must have a curve like this. It must have a curve, then it's hook, then it's animal. All right. So if it doesn't looks like there's a curve, then we don't call it hook-like structure. Okay, so very good. All right, it has feathery-like structure. Okay, and it looks tiny. It looks light. Okay, that's why it's dispersed by wind. Now, what about splitting? Hello. Do you know why? Lightweight, very good. Then what about Q? How do you know that Q is by splitting? This is P6. revision. So the P6 revision consists of like a mixture of topics. Hello. You can prepare how do you prepare yourself? Okay, I would suggest that you start revising for one topic a day. Okay, for we start revising one topic a day from P3 onwards. All right, so to recap, a lot of students tend to like forget their previous year's concepts like P3, P4. Start practicing, and then try more open-ended questions. Okay, you can try by doing those past year papers. All right. Yes. Yes. Spotlight structure. Any more? Any more? Any more? Yes. Spotlight structures. Okay. Very good. A lot of you got it correct. So this is called a pod-like structure. Okay, there's also this thing that the particular line where it splits open, it's called lines of weakness. Some schools use the term lines of tension. Okay, depends on what your school teachers prefer. All right. Okay. Very good. Yes, very good. You can say pod-like structure, lines of weakness. Very good. Okay. Very good. Let's look at. Hey, why you say short distance? The short distance is disadvantage. Now, everybody, let's look at part E. Okay, and for part E, they're asking, state the advantage of Q. Now, I know a lot of you are very confident the disadvantage. You always say, oh, disadvantage is that it will be very near the parent plant. It will be scattered near the parent plant. That's a disadvantage. But do you all know what's the advantage? YS, thank you. This live is until 8 p.m. Actually, 10 more minutes only. But we're already at the last question. Do not need other variable. Okay, y'all use the word, Shine, your school teacher used the term variable instead. Not other it. Spread far. No, no, please take note that splitting does not the seeds of for those that are dispersed by splitting doesn't go very far, so it's not a good thing. Actually they will be found pretty near the parents plant, so that would be a disadvantage. Okay. Grumpy bear, it is scattered away from the parent plant, nothing special, because all the other dispersal method also will go far away from parent plant. But what is so good, what's so special about a good thing about splitting? A lot of you mentioned prevent overcrowding is to eh, Rice, prevent overcrowding is to explain why is seed dispersal needed. But now I'm focusing on splitting. You can read the question properly. Okay, what's the advantage of the dispersal method used by Q? What is the advantage of splitting? And most of you will send in I've seen a few correct answers. Very good. It doesn't need to rely on other factors, doesn't need to rely on wind or animal to disperse their seeds. Okay, yes, they do not need to depend on external factors like wind and animal. Take note, some school teachers are very, very strict. They want you to give examples. So give examples. They don't need to depend on external factors like wind and animal for dispersal. Okay. Oh, JW, that answer is used for explaining why is seed dispersal important. Okay, the one is not for splitting. Okay, with nothing special about splitting. Everything also needs to be away from parent plant. Okay, so over here, all right, we can say that splitting also can shine. I gotta write down. Okay, but I need to add in, some school teachers very strict, add in like the examples like wind and animal. Okay, so you can say that Q does not need to depend on other. Some schools depend or rely is fine. Yes, you can use depend also. Okay, whose school says use the word agent? Whose school says use the word external factor? School says use the word variables. A lot of school teachers prefer different ways of answering. Me is what? Bimbap. Bimbip. Your me is what? Which one? Cheyenne, yours is variable. Some variables. A lot of you put variable in it. Wilson, yours also variables. The rest? Kanimo. Yeah, it's best to put example because I've seen school teachers marking wrong for those that are not examples. External agent. Why is agent? Yours is factors. Okay, yeah, a lot of different answers. Okay, so anyone, if you write agent, if you write factors, if you write variables, it's fine. Okay, but just follow your school teacher because the school teacher is marking your prelim paper, but in PSLE, it's fine. Okay, so for this, does not need to depend on other agents like wind or animals to disperse its seeds. Okay, I'm going to highlight the key things. So please remember to mention does not need to depend on other agent to disperse its seeds. Variable, okay, I'm going to put brackets since a lot of you tell me different thing, okay? You can put factors, external factors, or variables. It's fine. To replace agents, okay? Hard school prelim papers. If you have any questions, y'all have any questions for any of the above? I would say, right, the more difficult one you can try is ACS, MGS, Tao CHIJ depends. Certain years are more challenging. You'll start off with 2024 and then you go backwards in terms of the years, okay? Oh, you're from ACS. Hi. Nanhua, Nanyang, sometimes they can be quite challenging as well. Okay. Okay, can anyone has any questions? Frontier Primary. Frontier Primary is in the west, right? Yeah, from 2024, then you go back, work your way backwards. Okay? Hey, be nice, Felix. Why you start from 2022 for yours? Octopus, why? Be careful, because there is a certain years that during COVID, they actually remove certain topics from the paper. Everyone, all right? And do you have any questions? If not, I will end the live soon. Y'all still like to chit chat? Yeah, yes, Octopus got some discount, right? But the other topics are still inside. So if you finish the rest already, the other years, you can go ahead and still do the 2021 one. Then do the 10. Y'all have the 5-year series, right? The PSLE exam papers. You also do 2024 one, 2023, 2022, and so on. Yes, Sukuna, yes. Kahoot for science, is it? Kahoot for this week is for P6 math on Friday. For science is the next session. Next session means like 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, we'll have Kahoot, okay? Okay, so a gentle reminder, everybody. Okay, the next live is tomorrow at 7 by teacher KH, P5 Science. All right, those of you who are in P6, you can just go ahead as well. Okay, can just learn your P5 concepts. Okay, and a gentle reminder that we have online classes. Okay, P5 Science is conducted by teacher KH, P6 Science is conducted by me. Okay, and we have for other subjects as well. Okay, so P5 and P6, we have English, Math, Science, and Creative Writing. Sec 1 and 2, we have Math for online classes. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna anyone has any other questions? If not, I'll end the live. No? Okay. Next live, I see some of you asking for next live. Not this one. See you. Bye bye. Enjoy your school day until Friday. See you. Bye bye. Bye bye, my local Song Ping. You very happy when people call you by your full name. Bye.